This is a story called Cowboy Detective Case. You see, there were three young men who were aspiring to be actors. And they found this place in Hollywood, downtown, very cheap, but it also was very old. In fact, it had one of those plaques in front of it that it was part of the California Historical Society, plaque number 38. But it was perfect for them. The rent was cheap. The thing that did kind of bother them a little bit, but after a while they just thought it was fun. The walls were super thin. They could hear their neighbors. It's like a bungalow, unit A, B, C. And they were in B, right in the middle. Next to one side was a young couple, and the other side was this older gentleman, 50s or so. Guess that's not old. But anyway, they nicknamed him Dapper Dan because he just kept himself prim and proper, but it was coming and going all times of the day and night. They wondered what he was doing, but that's the main thing they concentrated on. At that particular time, they were doing a lot of filming in downtown Hollywood, and so these three would sometimes get a job, either as a stand-in, an extra, even occasionally a speaking part, and sometimes they worked with the crew, lights, etc. All the time they kept noticing that at these different locations, a gentleman who wore a big white cowboy hat. They talked to him occasionally, and his nickname was Cowboy. And he delivered pizzas. Every time they went to different locations, they'd always see him eventually delivering the pizzas. They heard some rumors that Cowboy's pizzas had some extras in there, some drugs. But they didn't want to get involved with that. They just wanted to concentrate on trying to make it in acting. Well, at night they'd go home in their apartment and sit around and talk and joke and try to write scripts. And one night while they were doing this, they came up with an idea that Cowboy was kind of a colorful character. And so they arranged to have him deliver a pizza that night at 9 o'clock. And in their story, the pizza was supposed to have something extra, but not really. And they said this loud enough so that both of their neighbors, they didn't have to say it very loud, could hear it. Because they were kind of curious what kind of reaction they'd get from their neighbors. And then when Cowboy knocked on the door, they'd be filming him. And so they sat there. Here it came, 9 o'clock. Nothing. 9:15. Wow, a real aggressive knock. My God, they thought any louder or harder, it knocked that door down. This place is older than Methuselah. So they go to answer the door. They got it all set to film. And they open the door, and it's not Cowboy. Stop. It was the Hollywood Police Department. And they wanted to know, did you order a pizza from Cowboy? We were kind of scared. We know why. And we kind of sheepishly said, yes, we did. And then policeman looked at us and said, well, it's not a big deal. Somebody killed the Cowboy over there in that park across the street from you here, and they did it over there by that wooden bridge. But, these drug dealers, we don't care. They kill each other, that's okay. We don't mind. And the policeman left. Boy, we thought that was strange. I mean, even if Cowboy was dealing drugs, nobody should be murdered, period. So we walked over to the site where the policeman told us where this murder happened. And the policemen had already taken down the yellow tapes they put up. And we noticed right near was a bunch of footprints, which we assumed was a struggle. There was these flower petals, white, quite a few of them. So we brought with us one of these plastic containers, and we put the flowers in there, the petals. And then we went back to our apartment, kind of looked, we kept the windows closed and was kind of scared that maybe we did something that caused the cowboy to get murdered. Oh my God. And the next day we checked the newspaper, nothing. We called the police department to find out how they're doing on this case. Case closed. That day, Paul was looking out the window and jumped up. He says, I solved it. I know who did it. And then he covered his mouth because he realized he's talking loud. And he wrote on a piece of paper. And then we all got to huddle together. It was Dapper Dan. Yes, look. See that flower plant out there? It's full of white little flowers. And Dapper Dan, I just rethought about it, he takes it for his lapel. And he gets a flower from that plant. All we need to do is check the DNA from that plant and the DNA across the street by the bridge. Well, we did that, and very quickly we got it back because he knew somebody that could do that kind of work, and it was a positive match. We went to the police and reported it, but not to that detective. We went further up the ladder, and we showed him the information. About a week later, we noticed in the paper that Dapper Dan had pled guilty, confessed, and it related that there was a kind of an ongoing feud between him and the cowboy concerning drugs, and luckily our story had nothing to do with Cowboy's death. But at least we solved the crime. Thank you.